Check it. You're tuned in to SayWHA Radio with your hosts, Justin, Taz, and the other guys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
SayWHA Radio. I'm going to just start with this one and just say the headline, see what you say. Baseball coach is suspended after he forced his players to spit in his face.
He loses damn job.
A Greek man was convicted of stealing electricity despite being dead. Yes. Convicted him after he died.
So he didn't do it before he died.
Yes.
Okay. What is that? Round it over.
It's me.
Say what? Say what one more goddamn time.
All right. You know what time it is. It's Wednesday night. SayWHA Radio is coming at you guys. Got your girl Justice here, still in the quarantine with everyone else who decided to do another show. Got some good feedback and some love on the last one. Still getting a lot of love, admiration for the other shows as well, especially Cool Black Nerd and the latest one to join, which is the Holistic Life and Life Adventures. But go ahead and start it off to introduce everyone else that's on.
You got Dre D.
There you go.
Dre T. McCoy is in the house. Hello, everybody.
Did we lose Jules?
Oh, no, I'm still here. I don't think everybody knew what the alphabetical order was.
I literally called it out in the beginning.
But that was before McCoy joined. I asked.
But it would still be Jules.
I think Jules was before McCoy, though.
And Taz. Okay.
Taz is here as well. Hi.
Oh, my God.
So clearly, quarantine has gotten us to figure out alphabets.
Yeah. Oh, man.
This homeschooling ain't working.
Right? Exactly. Some presidential alphabets right there. All right. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. We usually do everything about the headlines and whatnot, but there are two headlines that have kind of been prominent lately that we really wanted to talk about. As soon as we heard about them, we kind of just went into a frenzy in the chat, just giving our thoughts, our feelings, and what is going on. And it would be around Ahmad Arbery and Breonna Taylor. I think everybody knows about his story at this point in time, which is a young man who was shot and killed as he was jogging on the road by, was it 3 men or 2?
Technically 2, but 3 were involved.
3, okay. And then Breonna Taylor is actually a story that just came up recently regarding a young EMT who worked at 2 hospitals during this crisis. She was awakened in the middle of the night by police who came to serve a warrant at her house looking for a suspect and in a narcotics investigation. During that time, Breonna was shot and killed, as it has been alleged in the case that her boyfriend, who was there with her as well, shot first, thinking it was burglars, and I believe hit one of the officers and is now charged with attempted murder. Breonna was shot 8 times and died at the scene, if I'm not mistaken.
We also left off a key part there. The address that they went to was the incorrect address for that warrant.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. What it turns out is, as T said, the address on the warrant was incorrect, as well as the person that they were looking for was already in custody.
So the address on the warrant was incorrect, or did the cops go to the wrong address?
Yeah, the address on the warrant was correct. They went to the wrong address. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. Sorry. And now they don't have body cam footage of this because that particular unit does not wear body cams. And I think what a lot of people don't.
Maybe because they weren't in uniforms. That's probably why they don't have body cams.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is that this has kind of just been a thing that's been going on. Body cams aren't widely adopted at every single police station. The ones that usually do have them are on usually like street cops and things like that. And some of the higher ups have them. Rarely do you see it where it's like a special unit will have body cams. Just, being in that industry, a lot of them will push back on wearing those. So we know why.
I mean, we know why they push back on it, but I'm curious as to what they claim their reason is for pushing back on it.
Usually for them, they say it is something that will hinder them being able to complete their jobs. That's usually their pushback on it. I'm very, very honest. They say that it causes...
How can we beat these black men up if they get it on camera? Can't do our jobs accurately. You can't shoot. It's not like they ask you to wear them 10-pound camcorders from 1992. We're talking about some little small body cams. How does that impede you doing your job?
Especially when you're already wearing 20 pounds worth of shit to begin with.
There's very few units that I would say it's acceptable for them to not wear a body cam. and I don't even know that this would be a unit that would serve a warrant at somebody's house. If you're undercover, okay, I understand you're not wearing a body cam, but if you're undercover, I'm pretty sure you're probably not kicking a door in at somebody's house.
Yeah. Usually their reason is that it would make them a target, similar to what Jules is saying, since they're in specialty units. Nobody knows what they're doing at that point in time, and it gives them a little bit of anonymity in doing their job. This is specialty units. Also, the other thing is that it tends to get them in trouble. This is very bluntly what they say, because they'll forget to turn the cameras off, or they don't know what the cameras actually can do. And so many of them they're having sex on the job. They're bringing the cameras into the bathroom, or they're bringing the cameras into horrible situations that aren't necessarily illegal, just really embarrassing. And it gets them in trouble on those fronts. So that has been the pushback that they use, honestly.
Stop having sex on the job. I don't know about most workplaces, but I'm pretty sure it's frowned upon to have sex while you're on the clock, unless you're a prostitute.
Yeah.
Which would still be illegal.
Well, no, not in Nevada. It's perfectly legal in Nevada for you to be a prostitute and have sex and get paid for it, and that's fine. But, like I said, most professions, and I would imagine police officer is one of them, where you probably should not be having sex on the clock.
Very true.
Maybe you should just stop doing that. You don't have to worry about getting caught doing it if you don't do it. I mean, that's kind of the basis of policing. If you don't commit a crime or you don't do something that's wrong, you're not supposed to get in trouble. So why in the fuck are you having sex on the clock, Mr. Officer? You're supposed to be so honorable and respectable. I'm supposed to believe everything that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Hold you to the same standard we're held to.
But no, I get what you're saying. Just when we would go to these police stations and try to pitch it, the chief was always for it. The council was always for it. It was always being pushed back by the police officers because they were saying it's going to get me in trouble. And they would get their union in on it, and it would always put it in some sort of hindrance. But I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, across the nation, it's probably maybe 30% of police forces have body cams, and maybe I would say like EMT and first responders probably have a little bit more, like firefighters and things like that is probably around about 40%.
Well, instead of wasting our money on these bailouts that we shouldn't be bailing these companies out, airlines, for example, have had 10 years of pure profit, not just covering what their basic expenses, but profit. Extra money. They had all this money for profit. So instead of bailing them out with our tax dollars, with this proposed, like $23 billion, why don't we just get everybody body cams? I think we should do that.
Oh, it's not a problem with that. There have been so many programs where they were like, okay, you turn in the phone, we'll give you a body cam. It was all kind of stuff.
All airplanes have black boxes, right? Because it's required in an airplane to have a black box. Well, if you're going to be a police officer, hey, you got to get a body cam. You want to drive a car? Guess what? In the United States, to drive a car, you got to have a license. Some things you just got to have.
Yeah, they all should be wearing body cams. But kind of like what McCoy had said earlier, in this case, it wouldn't even matter because these niggas wasn't even in fucking uniform, so they wouldn't have had a damn body cam on to begin with.
And when you just think about what we just spent the last 5 minutes talking about, it explains why a lot of people are actually afraid of the cops anyway. If they're so afraid that whatever they record with their body cam is going to get them in trouble, how afraid do you think the people are on the other side of your trouble? The people that are going to get their ass beat. How do you think they feel?
You're not allowed to be afraid. Only they are allowed to fear for their life. You aren't allowed to fear for your life.
But they're afraid that they're going to do something wrong. They're afraid that they're going to do something wrong on the clock. So if you're afraid that you're going to do something wrong, I'm also afraid that you're going to do something wrong. A man was defending his own home from people he thought was breaking in, shot one of these people that, if you ask me, were breaking and entering, and faces felony charges. This is ridiculous.
I need to see how does I fear for my life play out for this young man, because I don't know where he lives, what kind of neighborhood it is, but I imagine if they're doing search warrants for some sort of drug house or something, it's probably not the greatest place in the world. So now it's late at night. I'm in my house. Somebody beating on my door saying that they're police and they got a search warrant. I look out the peephole. I see some folks just in regular clothes with guns. Clearly, I'm about to try to defend myself. So I'm now scared for my life. So you kick my door in and I shoot you. Am I wrong? Am I not standing my ground? That's what we use to defend every goddamn body now. Was I not defending myself?
You were definitely defending yourself. Problem is that they don't have video, so they just take the cops' word for it over the citizens, unfortunately.
Conveniently.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle. No video.
I hear you, but also I have, from what the police say to me, I have enough evidence to be able to say that I was scared for my life. They came to the wrong address. They didn't have on uniforms. How do I know that's actually police? I'm supposed to let everybody into my house that says they're a police officer?
Cops have badges. I just want to point that out.
According to the cops. Yep. I don't know. I don't know what their precedent is for it. No idea.
Yeah. I mean, especially kicking the door in. I mean, I can see it if they hit a warrant.
We already know it's gangs of MS-13 out here marauding the streets, raping women and children. So I look out my peephole and I see a gang of people wearing regular clothes talking about they the cops. I feel like I'm about to get marauded. So I have to defend myself. Shit.
Not marauded. Don't maraud. Well, the kicking in door part, T, they'll just say that they knocked several times or plenty of times and yelled that they were the police. That's all they're going to say. And so they were forced to kick the door down. That will be their reasoning.
Yeah, I can see them saying that. That wouldn't even make sense. So you expect me to believe that you knocked on my door and you showed me a badge through the peephole and I didn't let you in and I proceeded to shoot you, knowing that this wasn't going to end well for me if y'all actually are cops and you showed me a badge.
Yeah, that's why I said it didn't make sense. If he knew that they were cops and he was firing at them, why would he stop firing at some point? You know you're doomed at that point. If you know you were firing at cops.
Yeah, you're about to go out like Cleo from Set It Off.
Yeah, just you might as well just keep firing till you kill me at this point because I'm dead anyway. But yeah, the amount of shots they fired and blindly, I think that's one of the main things for me is like the amount of shots they fired blindly. They were just firing shots into that.
So just curious what everybody's thoughts are on it. Do y'all think that this will actually turn into a conviction for any of the cops? What do you think the outcome is going to be?
No, I don't think so.
Nope. They've already been reassigned, whatever that means. That means we're going to pay them to sit at home. So there's going to be no repercussions.
My prediction is this is going to be a civil suit. They'll win the civil suit, but nobody's going to go to jail for it except maybe the boy that's already in jail.
Yeah, the other person they shot 8 times. So obviously we can't get her story.
One thing that is ridiculous to me is the fact that it took us months before we knew anything about this. This actually happened March 13th. And the other thing is similar to what T was saying, is just like, why does it not have finality to it already? You were at the wrong house. You already had the person in custody. It was a fuck up on your part. Why is it just not, we fucked up, it's over? Why? I don't understand how any of this, the causality of the rest of it even fucking matters.
Because if you say I fucked up, then somebody has to pay for shooting this lady 8 times and killing her in her own home. You can't say I fucked up without repercussion.
From their standpoint, let's be honest, if they ever said that, all hell would break loose from the other end and they would never let it die. So they're going to fight it until they possibly can't.
How is having the unrest, the tension that you're causing between a group of people and the people that are supposed to be protecting better than just saying we fucked up?
Because that tension is going to be there even if they say that they fucked up. That tension ain't going nowhere.
But it wouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, it would abate some of the stuff. I really do think and I'm not saying all of it. It's not going to all go. But the people who are riled up now, you're not doing it with fanning the flames.
Yeah, the big part of the problem is not just that there are some cops that do some bad things. We know that happens. There's some bad people in every profession. There's some doctors that don't do the right things. The problem is that they stick together no matter what happens. So you can know that somebody on your team is doing something bad, but what you going to do? Cover it up for them. That's the biggest problem. Like, we as the public feel like they don't be honest with us or admit their mistakes. Like, they feel as though they're perfect and they don't make mistakes, but yet they hold us accountable.
Yeah, you guys are thinking like reasonable people. Unfortunately, there's a lot of unreasonable people out there. And if they admit something like that, first of all, you're going to have a lot of people that are saying they're only doing it because somehow it benefits them. They're not going to take it as sincerely. Like, you're still going to have that large group of people that's just not happy with them doing that. They always want more done.
Well, D, I don't think that's what it's about. Like, you're right. There's always going to be people who want more done. But the way they're doing it now, the rational people are upset.
And that's what I'm scared of. You have the people who are already irrational. They'll be irrational no matter what. But the rational people, I'm more afraid of, honestly, because they do have clear thought. They do have good ideas. But it just takes that spark, just that one thing for somebody to have a bad day like this to just fucking blow it up. I always go back to the thought of the Joker. They always say that you never know what happens to someone in one day that can turn them into a villain. Everybody starts off, that we want to think they do, with good intentions in certain situations. But man,
unfortunately, cops can say that as well. They can say that they were good at some point and something turned them bad. So,
but the problem that I have with that is that they don't even say that. They say nothing.
Yeah, they say we never turned bad.
You don't know the whole story. You don't know what else happened. This person was a criminal 20 years ago. So obviously I was justified.
That's the thing that's really necessarily infuriating. And it's like, how many times do you have to keep picking at this gangrene of a wound that is happening in this society? It's like, you already know this shit is bad. It's not getting any worse. We got a president that's making it uber times worse. That fucking, I don't even know what he was trying to say about the Ahmad Arbery case when he was, he seemed like a very wonderful, nice man. The footage was horrible. It was horrible footage.
Let me just take a brief side step for this for just one moment. One of the things that stood out to me when Trump was talking about Ahmad Arbery was he said, I saw the picture of him in a tuxedo. He looks like a very nice young man. I have to say this Ahmad Arbery thing is one of the only times in a situation like that where the picture was not some thugged out looking photo or just an old ass mugshot. And for even Donald Trump to say, oh, he looked like a very nice young man. To me, that I just want to call out how the narrative that gets put out there in the media, just from the picture they chose to show, how that can change the way somebody feels about the entire situation.
Well, he probably didn't have any thugged out pictures. He probably was nowhere near, in his childhood. He probably didn't have any that they could throw out there.
That shouldn't matter in the first place.
You're right, it shouldn't. But if it's not put out there, then how you gonna get it?
Yep.
I'm just saying, I have a picture where I look like Tupac Shakur, like straight, like a bandana on my head, straight thugged out.
You might want to strap that.
Yeah. I'm just saying that. Like that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I was in high school. That's the clothes that we wore. We all went to the same high school.
Yep.
That's what we wore.
Yep.
Yes.
I was bougie. I didn't wear
that. I get that. But you know, we all have some type of prejudice. You do judge people by their appearance.
I know that you do. But what I'm saying is it's inappropriate for the media, I suppose, who goes out, like they try to find the worst looking photo. That man or woman will die when they're 30 years old. They will put out a picture of them when they were a teenager and say, this is the person that got shot. No, it's not.
Yeah, I may be able to explain the psychology behind that. The thing is with them, when it comes to the media, and when it comes to like a lot of people have to have a reason for something happening, because if something randomly happening to them that's bad, it scares them. Like something that can just randomly happen to you that you didn't yourself provoke or didn't add to at any time, that scares people. That, oh, I could just be outside. Oh, this could happen to me just randomly and I didn't do anything. So they try to find a reason, a justification that this person was in that particular situation. And that's why they go out looking for, well, maybe he had this past, maybe he had this, maybe he had that type thing, because it makes them feel more comfortable and safer if they know that there was a reason or that he was in that particular situation. And then they feel like to themselves, well, I would never dress like this, or I would never look like this, or I would never be in that situation. So I feel better about myself now. So they look for something bad in order to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, that is true.
And I think that happens in a lot of situations. It's the same thing where they talk about certain women, if they get attacked or something, like, why were you out there? Or what were you wearing? So it's the same situation, that type of thing. We've said this more than once on the show. Like kids nowadays, the stuff that they're putting on the internet and then thinking that shit is going to go away or it's not going to be a part of their lives again, or that people are just going to be able to let it go. No. Especially TikTok. We were talking about that as well. That was another thing. It was a freaking trend on there where they're doing racist TikTok videos, and that was the trend. I mean, it was just stupid. And one girl, her dad made her actually apologize for the video that she made. But how many other moms and dads didn't do that for their kids? Because now that'll be the stuff that comes up when people see her. They'll be like, okay, well, she apologized for it. But the other kids, shit, those videos that are on there, they are there.
Oh, her video is there too. Just because she deleted it, it's not there.
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the other that she apologized will also, the other stuff, it'll just be that they didn't say anything else. They just said that the racist shit. Because there was 2 kids that got expelled from their school and then also got rejected for the college that she wanted to. And she was like, I can't believe you guys are doing this to me. Now I can't go to college. And they were like, you did this to yourself.
But is that too far? Like, I think some of this stuff is being taken too far because these kids are less sensitive when it comes to racism and things like that. Not to say that it's right, but to stop their progression in the wake of that, how does that teach them something better? Like, I might go to college and realize, oh shit, that was racist. There's some cool black folks out here, or some cool Asians, or some. That shouldn't stop me from getting up. One video should not stop me. One video where I didn't even say anything except.
No,
hey, look at me.
In that video. Yeah.
Y'all talking about the two white kids? Y'all talking about the two white kids who poured the cup of water in the thing? They was racist.
Them white kids.
Even if you
that was totally different.
Even if you listen to the girl's response, and the girl herself didn't come out. It was pretty much her parents made her. The response was bogus. The response wasn't, I'm going to try to learn from this. I'm going to try to commit. I'm going to try to make donations, or I'm going to try to learn from the community. I'm going to try to make a difference. I'm not going to use my white privilege, as they call it. It was none of that. It was just pretty much, let me get my life back. I'm scared and all this other little BS. Like, nobody want to hear that. Like, you know what you did. You did what you did.
But at the same, I get that. You're going to have the public clap back and all of that, but should they be taking scholarships and college admissions?
I can't walk down the street without getting shot. So the least that she can do is get college degree taken. I don't even feel safe in my own house anymore. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, if somebody break in my house, am I not supposed to shoot for fear that it's the police that decided not to show proper credentials, showed up to the incorrect address? Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm confused.
Yeah, it sounds like you putting that on the kids, though, B.
Maybe I am. You know why? Because they white.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I said it.
I got real quiet. Yeah. So he got something on his chest and need to get out.
Okay, that's a little different.
When it comes to adults doing this kind of stuff, I have no tolerance for kids.
Sorry.
Kids are going to make mistakes. Kids are going to do stuff just to follow trends.
Yeah, but black kids don't get afforded.
Oh, no. Well, I can't say that because I know goddamn well there's things that I've done in my past that I shouldn't have got second chances for. But I did. So I can't say black kids don't get that. I know we've all made mistakes that we've got second chances for. Things like that. And like the stuff I did, I'm pretty sure, oh, well, whatever. But in general, what I was saying is like kids in general, they're going to make those kind of mistakes. And what Taz was saying, denying their school education, what path are you trying to lead them to? So like, I get they need to be punished, but if you're taking away their school or you're taking away their ability to become a better person, what are you trying to turn them into? Like, what is the end goal for their punishment?
They can't go to that college, correct? So nobody's denying their education. And I just like to point out this fact. Well, my opinion, I ain't gonna say fact. So when we're talking about black youth not getting the same opportunities afforded in terms of making up for situations that they've done, like they've had a mistake, they had a misstep. Like there's been situations where black men will mess up in similar situations, black men and women, and they don't get afforded the same second chance. And I'm talking about the same gravity of the situation. Could you imagine if two black kids would have done something like this? The repercussions would have been, I think, greater. Like, we never afforded the same opportunities.
And as black people, we're fighting against that, right? We want to be afforded the same opportunities. So do you want to bring white people down with us to where nobody's getting those opportunities? Or do you want all of us to get the same opportunities?
When they go low, we take it to the flow.
I understand we don't get those opportunities and they're getting those opportunities. We're fighting to get the same opportunities as them. But I don't see how bringing them down to where they're not getting opportunities at all either. And now no one's getting any opportunities, how that helps anybody.
In regards to this particular situation, this is really how I see it. The kids went out there, they put out this video, they were expelled from school and they lost scholarships at the college of their choice. So you got punished. I'm kind of with so you don't get to go to your first choice school. Oh no, so sad. Now you don't have a scholarship. So now if you really want to go to college, maybe you got to take a student loan. Oh no, doing things that everybody else has to do. Oh, you're going to get very little sympathy from me for that. Like, you exercised your freedom of speech. Great. The college that you decided to go to exercised their freedom of speech to say that we don't want you to come here. That doesn't mean you cannot go to college at all.
You say that, but we only know about that college because that's the college that they applied to, that they were choosing to go to. When other schools, when they come up for submission, schools look at your backgrounds and they probably will deny them because of it. That's what I'm saying.
You're right, D. And I'm going to say it just like this. Everybody can go to community college.
And also, as Jules said, it's very much the institution's right to be like, we don't want to be associated with people like you. We are trying to do what you're saying. So if this is what you did then, you need to realize that this is a punishment that you will need to face. Not saying this is, you can't go later on. You just can't go now.
Go, yeah, that's fine. Go do 2 years at a junior college and show me that you can make all A's while not being racist, and then maybe you can get in.
Or maybe do something to give back to the communities you offended, which no attempt has been made. That's another one of my points. Like, if they were really remorseful about what they did, they would try to do something to give back to the communities that they offended. However, there has been no attempt made. It was just some halfway apology just to get back what they lost. Like, you make a decision, like Jules said, you exercise your First Amendment right. Then your college that you chose made a decision that we don't like your representation, so you are no longer able to go here. You're not enrolled. You got to suffer them consequences. But you shouldn't be able to just get back your standing with no repercussions. You losing the ability to go to that school, that's just part of the price you pay. Where's the rest? Like, what did you do to prove that you're a changed person? Like, you just being nice because you want something from someone, but you're not really changed. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made that video.
Just deal with the consequences of your actions. That's all I'm saying.
So if they did give something back, would you say that they're changed?
It depends on the work that they do. It depends. Like, I can't say, oh yeah, they gave a check to the, I don't know, NAACP. Yeah, they're good to go. I'm not saying that that's the answer. But what I'm saying is that you haven't done anything. You just want what you lost back. And you think just because you apologize, that's good enough. And that's not. Like, there has to be work. I feel like they have to do some type of work in the communities that they offended. Not just cutting a check. Do some type of work. Show some type of real empathy and sympathy by doing that work in those communities that you offended. Go make that right. And then come talk to me about people forgiving you.
I think in both of these cases, the central thing is just, what do we go from here in these things? It's just like, I think one reason that D is saying we bit harsh, and it may kind of come from things like Breonna Taylor and Ahmad Arbery, where people can do something and they feel like they're able to have some sort of short victory when they're able to get these people kicked out of their schools or take their videos taken down or make them feel bad on the internet because everything else is up in the air as far as like you going out and possibly not making it home for whatever reason by the police, or, you know, now since we actually have to wear masks, and we know as a symbol for Black people, a lot of times us being masked makes people feel a little uneasy. I know myself when I go to the store, like I'm a person that likes to smile, and I like to just kind of convey that I'm happy to other people, not necessarily all the time because I am. It's just that I know that if I just walk in straight face, that is going to make them uneasy. So that is something that I normally do. With this mask on, I can see people looking at me and saying hello and stuff. I still have that thing of wanting to smile or doing smile. It's doing it on the mask, but I'm pretty sure under that, I just look like a little bit threatening to them. But that's nothing we can do right now. And that's just going to rile up the tensions more with a lot of people.
I think the fact that you even have to think about, I got to make sure I smile so I don't have to scare people is ridiculous.
True, but you also know that if you didn't do any of that, whether you know it unconsciously or not, that people would kind of be like, well, why are you so mad? And you know that.
All people do that, though. Why are you so mad? Because I don't want to talk to you. But I don't consciously say I'm going to smile because I don't want people to think I'm mad.
Yes,
no,
you do.
I just either I will smile. No, I don't.
We've had conversations where it's like, well, I'm not trying to be off-putting. Like, I can't believe you did that.
I think she just means on a regular basis, not in certain situations. Obviously, in certain situations, you don't want to look. Even myself, if I walk into a neighborhood that I know is known for certain things, I'm not going to make myself feel like I'm a threat to anybody that's there. You just, like certain situations, you obviously do that. But she's just talking about it general, like just going to the store and shit like that. She doesn't consciously think of it.
Oh, yeah. I've always done that. But then again, I've always been... Even when I went to Black schools, it was just like the same thing. My brother tells me all the time, you always look like you smiling. That was just the way I was.
You have a permanent smile on your face.
True. But if I did not, it would be the times where I did not have it. And people were like, damn, what's you? And I didn't want that in places like what you're saying, well, I could possibly be a threat. It just could be that I got something on my mind at that point. But it's just like, okay, you still got to kind of be happy.
You remember on the other guys when Will Ferrell was typing on the computer and Mark Wahlberg was like across from him and he looked at him and he had this like smirk on his face as he's typing and he like got upset. He's like, why are you smiling? It was like, what are you talking about? It's my face. Can you stop smiling, please? You know what? Now you're asking me to mask my happiness to make you feel better. I'm not going to do that. That's what I think about when I look at you, because you always have that smirk on your face.
She probably got it right now. I can see it.
It's just there. It is like at all times, like, why are you smiling?
But again, I know that if I walk into a building just kind of not with it, it may scare somebody. And it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It may be a side effect of this particular time of life, honestly.
I think it's always been that way. Not even just this time.
I get where she's coming from, though, because, I mean, to some extent, I mean, when you think about today's society, when people look at you, they automatically assume the worst. Well, a lot of people will assume the worst. I'm not going to say everybody. And so I guess when you smile or when you have a certain look on your face, in your mind, maybe it at least alleviates the fact that they think the worst of you. So it's a lot of times, a lot of these situations where people get shot and killed, like the Ahmad Arbery case, that's because somebody assumed the worst of them. It was just all assumptions, and then somebody died because of it. So assumptions can be dangerous, but smiling helps to kind of alleviate that a little bit.
This will probably be something that we'll probably always be. It's just crazy. All of this is coming out, and now there's footage that's come out about an Ahmad Arbery case that may show that he kind of went over to one of the construction sites. They're not sure as to why. The person who owns the house, who has the footage, they're like, no, you're not going to be able to use me to try to paint this narrative of this man. I'm not doing it. And also, I believe somebody else posted that in the chat where somebody left a card at his memorial site saying, I'm sorry, I should have stopped them. I didn't know. I'm sorry, or something like that, to that effect.
Yeah, the people that own that construction site quickly distanced themselves from the two dudes. As soon as the video came out, they was like, oh, well, looks like he didn't take nothing. And we didn't call the police or Mr. whatever his name is or son. So
we would have known why he was there if you didn't shoot him. Shit.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. It doesn't matter why he was there. Even if he went there and stole something, is the penalty for stealing in the United States death?
No. Lad, what they did was uncalled for no matter what was going on. I'm just saying, if he was alive, you would have got the answer to your fucking question. You didn't have to shoot him.
Plain and simple. We're going to have a little lighter note. You know, we love to do our headlines.
Florida.
What the Florida?
Yeah.
Actually, I saw this and this kind of made me smile with the Ahmad Arbery thing. So, you know, you have people who have been trying to call attention to it. I don't know if you guys saw the guy who was running down the street with the TV and filmed himself doing it.
With the TV?
Yeah. Yeah.
How strong is this man?
He had a flat screen TV and was just running down the street and was like, this is something that I can do because I'm white. And yeah.
And my man definitely ran through his neighborhood with the TV, like just running.
Filmed the whole thing. Yeah. I was like, okay, I got you. I thought that was funny. He actually was from Florida. So got to give them that. But that's probably the last thing we're going to give them tonight. So with the COVID-19, everybody's been put in the stay-at-home order. You have people who have actually been laid off, furloughed, things like that. So with them being lifted in some places, order being one of them, people who were previously unemployed went back to work. But while they were unemployed, they were getting their unemployment benefits, right? When they went back to work, they were like, we need to cancel the unemployment benefit. And the state of Florida was like, no, you can't cancel them.
Okay, so just keep giving me my money.
Like, what the fuck? How? Why?
That benefits me. If I try to cancel it and you don't want me to cancel it, then I will continue taking the money if you want to give it to me.
You know what? I'll give you that because this is still the same state that would not count votes correctly when they. So, yeah.
They own the East Coast, and they're the last ones to get their vote. They get their votes in after Alaska.
I didn't get it.
Like, how does that work? You should be the first ones. You're on the East Coast. Like, I don't get this.
What do they have? One person and counting? 2,721. 2,000. Oh shit! What did I leave off? Oh damn!
Yeah.
1, 2.
The crazy part is, you would think they have like the most people, so maybe that's why it takes them. No, they don't. It should just. There's no excuse for them to be last. I don't get it.
Yeah. They also had where protesters were outside the courts doing workouts because they were protesting that the gyms were still closed. I will not understand the people who don't get that gyms are the nastiest motherfucking places right now to be, just in general. I can see people sweating, leaving stuff all on machines.
Walking around naked in the locker room.
Yep. Screaming.
No social distancing. None of that.
Yeah.
And screaming.
Yeah, that spreads germs, man. This shit goes flying everywhere.
He's right.
Like, come on, man.
He's right.
What is this?
I mean, I guess you're technically right, but clearly you hate people screaming at the gym. I don't think that's why you said it.
It does bother me.
I think that was just a random gym complaint.
Because usually when that happens, like you'll look at somebody, you're like, oh, they must be lifting something heavy, and most of the time they're not. Like, what is the strain? Why are you screaming like that?
So stupid.
Like, I don't get it.
You just tickled my
Oh man!
All right. Well, a lot of those people who were going around just going protesting the stay-at-home orders or whatnot was just like, oh, of course, it's a hoax. It's not really anything. And one of the people in Florida, got it really bad. And it's just like, you guys need to take this seriously. Don't. It's not a game out here. I almost died. Really? That's the thing that gets me. It's these people, and we've seen this across the country, the people who are protesting out there with their mask and not no mask and not social distance.
If you protesting with a mask, you're not protesting.
Yeah. And that's one thing that got me. I forgot to talk about that, but Trump was saying that the Michigan governor should talk to the militia people who are storming the state house with guns and AK-47s, saying, just sit down and talk to them, see what happens. Really? What federal building can you go in with these types of guns and that be okay?
Did somebody have a rocket launcher or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, those sit-down conversations with armed militias don't usually go well. Like, those people don't want to sit down and talk. That's why they're armed militia.
Obviously, somebody with a rocket launcher on their back is not going to be a rational person that you want to speak to. Obviously not.
Well, since I have to walk around and smile and I can't wear a hoodie to make you feel comfortable, how about you don't wear a bulletproof vest with a AK-47 to make me feel comfortable? Yeah. And then we can talk.
It is definitely.
Let's agree to that. I'll wear a tuxedo and smile.
This
and you just
say a tuxedo.
You just don't wear a bulletproof gun and an AK-47, and a bulletproof vest and an AK-47, and everybody will be comfortable.
We'll call it even.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. We had a Florida man run over a store clerk because he was pissed off at his wife.
What
was the store clerk his wife?
Yeah. What is the store?
What? What?
Was he pissed off at the store clerk's wife?
Was he fucking her? Like, what? I'm confused.
No, he was on the phone with his wife. She had pissed him off. They had already had an argument, and he was at the store, and the clerk was actually in the parking lot, and he was just kind of like what you said at the gym. He was just like, and then was just like 10,000 points if I hit him.
He took his anger out on the person that was.
Basically,
his wife was on the phone, so he couldn't do what he wanted to do to her. So he just destroyed this poor store clerk.
Yeah.
So imagine how mad he is now because his wife is at home peacefully living, and he's in prison for running over somebody else.
I feel sorry for his seller. He's gonna have a bad conversation with his wife on his phone and shank the crap out of his seller. It's not going to end well.
Oh, Jesus.
Guess the store clerk should have had on a tuxedo and smiled.
Or at least left his rocket launcher at home.
He out here mad at his wife running over store clerks, and
I'm so motherfucking.
And Mexicans out here got.
And on that note, we're just gonna call it a night. Thank you for tuning in.
I need a riot knife.
Fucking hate y'all. Oh my God. As always, please continue to follow us on social media. SayWHA Radio for all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. Again, thank you for tuning in. As always, the biggest compliment you guys can give us is to really, really, really share, like, subscribe, review the show on iTunes, Google Play, thumbs up on Facebook, everything. Tell your family, friends about the show. We may not be everybody's cup of tea, but hey, let them listen and we can come to an agreement. You know, you like this, don't like this. But that was funny. Yes, it was. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
I'm dying in this fucking fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. Let's get the fuck out this country, mother. The fuck is that? Say what again?